Alright everybody, back to Peryite's quest, the only cure. We have thus far made it to Bthardmz, a Dwarven ruin in search of Orchendor, some rogue priest, who he would like us to take care of for him. And we are about to begin a long series of adventures in a very large Dwarven ruin. Finally making it in the front door here, we'll find that this place is actually huge. I don't know if it's the biggest Dwarven ruin in the game, but it's right up there. And so there's not a whole lot to be said here. It's relatively straightforward. The only thing that can get a little annoying are the little side paths leading out to various balconies and things like that, which for you console players, you'll sympathize with the number of loading screens that can be involved trying to search this entire place. I don't know if you're like me, you don't want to miss any chests or skill books or things of that nature, but there are quite a few doors to go through here just to get to, like I say, a simple ledge or a balcony, or maybe to get to a lever that opens up a set of spiked door gates or something like that. Anyway, there are not living areas. I guess that's what these are. I mean, of course, I see a lot of beds and stuff, and we'll find the random afflicted person sleeping. I would say roughly half of the people in here are mages. The rest are like assorted bandits or something. Most of them running around in everything from imperial gear to fur armor, which makes me assume that they just roll along with whatever equipment they've been able to scavenge before coming here, being the afflicted. The initial first, I'd say half of this dungeon is running into random afflicted like this, and it's not so bad. Sometimes you'll run into groups, especially groups of mages, and they can be a little tedious. But later, we will start running into Dwarven machines, and they can be brutal. You get surrounded by a few of those guys punching you with their spiky little fists. Yeah, that's usually the end. That's usually the end of the road right there. You'll notice I will make liberal use of my followers and my summons. It's nice to have the Sanguine Rose, so I can summon a Dwemer every once in a while to take the heat off me. For a lot of these big rooms, there's a surprisingly small amount of loot, really. Most of the chests and things of that nature are found in little side rooms. But all these living areas along the way, there might be a random potion here or there. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot of notable loot. Kind of a shame, because I'm all about loot. Other Dwarven ruins, it seems like there's either a small Dwarven chest or something around every corner. Okay, now these are the times, especially in this particular dungeon, where I get a little lost, because I will pass one room and I'm not sure whether to go left or straight, and by the time I'm done exploring one branch, I'll get into a fight or something and forget where I was and where I started, and go to backtrack. Here at least we find a locked door, so we know there's got to be something valuable behind this. But aside from actually having a physical map, I don't know if there's really much of a guide that I could give for this particular dungeon, because I get lost like anybody else. I say the side road. Now, which way did I come from? The left or the right? Yeah, I wind up like this a lot, and then I get all insecure, and I'm like, well, I wonder if I've missed a door, and then I wind up backtracking an hour, and a dungeon that probably shouldn't take more than 30, 45 minutes. I wind up spending 3 or 4 hours in here. I get obsessed with not wanting to miss anything. Okay, now here we have one of those groups of mages that I was talking about. up a little bit, let Uthgar get their attention, because even those novice level frost spells would just eat my lunch. They can not only shoot frost and fire at you, but they can vomit on you from a distance too. It's just awesome. I like these Dwarven ruins. There's somewhat of a backstory just by walking through them. You can kind of get an idea of the things that they did, the events that they held here. Their use of soul gems, along with their machinery, brings to mind that they basically had the idea that they could harness souls and spirits and things like that to accomplish mortal things, you know, earthly things outside of the Oblivion realm, and so on and so forth, and that they essentially accomplished that feat. And according to, what's that book called? The Azura's Box, I think? It basically tells a tale of the dwarves went so far as to even trick Azura herself, which was a no-no, and they are now gone. They're vanished, basically without a trace type of thing. All we're left are these ruins and the stories that they tell by looking around. I'm going to give you real quick my little theory. I have something, and I wouldn't be so surprised if Bethesda eventually comes out with something like this. They've been hinting more and more of dwarves as they go along in the Elder Scrolls, and I think we're going to personally, this is what I believe, all right? So I'll go on record as having said this, and if I'm totally wrong, well, whatever, at least it was maybe a good idea. But I think that the Daedra, like the Dromora, and so on and so forth, are the dwarves, and I think they were banished to Oblivion as a whole for what they did to Azura. And that's who I believe they are. I believe if you're looking for the dwarves, and you say the Dromora are tall, well, no one ever said the dwarves are short. In fact, I read something else here in Skyrim. I think it was another book, and I don't remember what it was, but something along the lines of dwarves having a reputation of being these short, stumpy, squat fellows was more legend than truth, in that the Dwemer, which they call the dwarves, are just mer, which means elves. You know, you have the Altmer and Thalmer and so on and so forth, Dunmer, and you had the Dwemer, and them being gone because I believe the trick that they played on Azura, they basically put her to a test and tricked her, and that was a no-no. Anyway, if I wind up being right about that later on, I will pat myself on the back a little bit and say, oh, that's kind of cool. And it's only taking the clues that they kind of leave behind here in their games. It's really cool that their games are big and deep enough where you can, even have stuff to theorize about that. And they have politics and religions and things like that to make their games just really neat to explore and adventure in and think about. Okay, down here, here's one of those out-of-the-way areas I was talking about, and you'll see one of the Dwarven boxes that's sticking out the side of a wall. So they're not always just sitting on the floor. We gotta keep your eyes open for these things. Okay, and it's not too far up here. We'll wind up with another crossroads where we can go up, down, straight, left, right, and not wanting to miss anything. I'll try not to. I don't think I can get through this whole place without missing something, but I'll try to explore as much as possible. It'll require a few extra videos, but hey, that's what we're here for, right? Play the game. These guys and their projectile vomiting. Just like The Exorcist. You know, this is kind of a ragtag bunch. You know, they're wearing everything from leather stuff to Imperial gear to who knows what. Alright, when you see these little circular things on the walls, they will spit robots out, just like that. These guys, these spheres, they're pretty nasty. They will get busy with you. Once I draw their attention, notice the nice chunk of health they can take away with each hit. These guys are capable of knocking Uthgerd down, so now that says it all right there. And she's already down for the count. I'm glad they're not so malicious as to finish her off. I need to be careful not to hit her while she's down, or I will finish her off. Okay, yeah, I think I need to go ahead and give this robot something else to think about other than me. I'm glad time stops while I conveniently use a potion when I need to. I ought to honestly be summoning more Atronachs, just simply to get the conjuration experience under my belt, but whatever. Using the Sanguine Rose doesn't count towards your conjuration skill. It's like any other staff. It draws off soul gems, not your actual abilities. So I better go back here and get what I came here for in the first place. Really? You serious? 5 gold for that? Wow, that reminds me of the White File quest where the guy gives you 5 gold for going through that dungeon. Okay, here's another one of those middle of the floor traps I was talking about. Okay, and getting here, I think we'll go ahead and end this one here, and we'll start another one in a minute.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. To watch some more smackdown of our enemies, click on the top box. Go to my channel playlist and browse other game vids, click on the bottom one. And if you like my videos, mash on the subscribe button up top and leave a comment. Alright, thanks.